foolish. Chop small, small, chop long time. Weak thoughts don't build strong minds. On the grind, that's all time. All time great, that's small time. The money I don't chop up. Wahala, no, they see the program. In the strip clubs in Europe and throw my euros, I think I'm in Poland. I just moved Olo, you see me with no cam. Pero tengo unos locos que chocan. Mis enemigos no se equivocan. A las damas y niños no se tocan. I'm in the kitchen, I give you that fuego. Money to burn tea, okay, all my pesos. Do as I say, si lo say so, I say so. You go for broke, I'ma go for my payroll now. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back. Foolish. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back. Foolish.
Hello everyone and welcome to Bursting with Energy episode 15. Today we are going to be talking about judgments, and I just want to thank everyone that is watching with us and has been keeping up with the channel. If you would like to sponsor or donate to the channel, it is now possible. I will put it in the description box. I also want to thank Jessicakofi for investing into the workshop and making this happen. So without further ado, let us go into it. We have judgments today. We have Providence with us, Letitia, and we have Coralie here with us. And they're going to be our participants for the workshop. So today I'm going to be combining our activity and our discussion. So I'm going to explain that because that will be in the second half. But we're going to start with water and why water is important. So we're going to turn to our participants. Why is water important?
Because it's good for the body and the soul.
Yeah. It is good for the body and soul. Why?
Because what does it say? Ça te remplit, ça te cleans. It cleanses your body.
It cleanses your body. Yes, that's true. Why else is water?
Hydrates, you know, that you can make more blood cells so you can be alive.
Exactly.
Making new cells.
Coralie, any answer?
It's good for blood circulation.
Yes, exactly. So they actually said all the answers. So blood circulation, when you get water, when you're hydrated, it actually gives you more energy. We talked about having nourishment in your water. So nutrients, so that you can absorb better. Because when it's just water, nothing in your body is actually 100% just liquid water. Mm. It's either blood has nutrients in it, pee has stuff in it, your tears they have other things that are involved in the liquid, right? So that's why we want to put something in our water so we can absorb the nutrients better. Make sense? Yes. So good for body, good for soul, good for blood circulation, which is how the oxygen actually gets into your muscles, and good for... You said,
blood cells, making
blood cells. Yes, making new blood cells, and that's how we keep energized. So we're gonna have them taste some water today, and they're gonna try to guess the flavor of the water. Okay. So last time we had fruits in it. This time we're gonna be using essential oils. So it's gonna be a little bit more tricky. I did make it a little more tricky, especially because Tisha knows oils, so she has oils. So I made it a little bit more tricky, so it would be harder for you guys to guess. But if you guys have a good nose, good taste buds, you should be good.
So we're supposed to guess multiple
yes.
flavors?
So I'm going to start with 3. If there's a tie or there's some sort of, I'm going to bring in a 4th one.
Okay. All right.
Okay, ready guys?
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you. Oh, you can take these off. So it's just for me to know what it is. No, you can leave that one on, and then when I take it, okay. Yes. All right, everyone ready?
Yep.
So we're gonna. So you don't have to close your eyes because
we don't know what.
Exactly. Okay. So once you taste it, I'm gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody say their answer at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
How long do we have to?
And voila. Thank you. There you go. Okay. So taste, smell. And then I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, this was gonna be. Are we supposed to guess like the fruit or like the flavor?
The flavor, yes. Okay. Everyone tasted? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lemon.
Ooh.
Orange.
She right?
Lemon.
She's the only one that got it wrong.
Oh.
Right. Sorry. You two wrong. So it is lemon. Yes. Lemon is good for
It smells
cleansing.
like tangerine or something.
It does.
That's what I made. So we'll keep that. Good job, good job. So this one is good for cleansing. You can also use it as like, so you can put it on your body, but you can also use it to clean your house. And it's a lot more natural than having chemicals because you can take these internally, so they're pure. So you can also use them to cleanse your home. Okay, ready everyone? My assistant is killing it today. There we go. Okay. This one is a little heavier on it. I got 2 drops in there. There we go.
Oh. Are you
And,
sure? It's not the same thing.
that's why I made it trickier. Okay, so get a smell, get a taste. All right.
Okay, so
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
orange.
Mandarin?
You're right. You didn't answer. So far we have 2 points. 2 points.
Oh. Yes.
So yes, it is good for.
Well, I
it
never
is
noticed
orange.
how like lemon and orange actually have the similar smell.
They're similar, but it's like a tangy, I guess, a tangy taste that makes it a little bit different. The lemon is a little bit more sour. But yes, so lemon, orange, wild orange, it's specifically wild orange. This one is really good for energy, so that's why I like this one. All right, everyone finished the water? So we have 2-2, so we have Tisha's out of the race, but you'll get to taste this one anyways.
Okay.
But you don't answer. All right. This is the tiebreaker. Hopefully. And then.
Oh no. I can't tell.
And there you go.
I got played.
All right.
Okay. I think I know what it is.
So everyone ready? Tasted? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lavender?
No.
Tangerine?
No. Green mandarin. You said lavender, right? Green mandarin. Yes.
Oh, it's
She thought all of that was. You were close. So I think you said lavender, right? You said lavender. Yeah, that was completely off. I wouldn't give you guys lavender to drink. No, yeah, usually you can't take lavender internally, but tangerine was close, so we're going to give it to Providence. Really close, though. It was really close, though. So there you go. That is tea tree and frankincense. So I want to read it specifically because tea tree is really good for judgmental energy. Because, here.
You just need 1 or 2 drops to just feel like
Yes,
effect of the
yes.
oil.
So I put it in a lot more water, but 1 or 2 drops, even in your bath, since the bath is really big, you can put 1 or 2 drops. And because we're carbon-based, it penetrates into our cells. So we're like plants. So the same protection that plants have, the same survival mechanism that they have, we can get that same protection, that same energy because we're carbon-based. So we're compatible with the essential oils. So it's like, you have little holes in your hands. It basically penetrates, goes into your system, circulates. That's why you want it in water, because then it actually helps flush out your body, but also gives you the nutrients that you want.
So I can put like a few drops in my water today, right?
No, so this one you cannot put in your water. This is topical, so you can massage it. You can
Rub them on your
rub
heart,
exactly. So let's look at tea tree, which is also called Melaleuca, right? I'm pretty sure I said that right. But so this is like an empowering process. Since we're talking about judgments, I'm going to read the whole thing, and then you guys can tell me what you think about it. So also known as tea tree oils, clears negative energetic baggage, which is why I wanted to use it, so that we can talk specifically about judgment, but in the positive and the negative light. So it releases codependent and parasitic relationships. These toxic relationships may be with people, microorganisms in the physical body, or spiritual beings, because we talk about everything as relationships. Yeah? So individuals may feel drained of life force and energy, but they may not be consciously aware of the source of this energy leakage, right? Which sometimes we make a judgment, but we don't know why we're making a judgment. But usually all of our judgments are tied to something within ourselves. So Melaleuca helps break the negative ties in these kinds of relationships so that new healthy connections may be formed that honor one's personal space and boundaries. And through judgment, we can honor someone's space and boundaries, right? That's why I said positive and negative judgments. So Melaleuca encourages an individual to connect to people and beings in ways that honors and respects others' agency. It helps individuals recognize the parts of themselves that are invited and allow these kinds of relationships to exist in the first place. So you want to allow these relationships to happen, even though there might be some judgment, you want to analyze it more, which is why we're going to be looking. If you see that, I wanted to put it to the side, but I guess like that. So if you saw a woman,
I saw a woman.
You saw a woman. So it means that you feel as though you are constantly defending yourself in life, keeping you emotionally and mentally exhausted. Okay? Does that feel like that? Did anybody else see a woman?
I saw a woman.
Woman? Coralie?
I saw a woman, but that's not the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay.
No.
But that, so what, did you see the skull first?
Yes.
Okay, so you saw the skull first and then the woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can be, when you see both, it can also be that, you know, you have a little bit of both, but you saw the skull first. Here, it doesn't really matter which one you saw first.
Okay.
So it's okay. But does this feel like it applies? Like you feel emotionally, so all three of you saw the woman, so we'll talk about it. Does it feel like it applies? What did you think of it when you first saw it?
Well, she felt sad because she was like down
Bending
like this
over?
and like annoyed with life, pretty much exhausted with life. I don't feel as though I'm like so like emotionally exhausted. I just feel like I know we had a cleansing section or whatever. I think like I'm pretty much like much more liberated from like having to explain myself, which is somebody I used to be. But like now I'm just like, it is whatever.
Okay, so saying it is whatever, how does that help you? How does that help your energy? Are you pushing it to the side, or are you actually acknowledging it?
Pretty much pushing it to the side.
Okay, so that can be mentally and emotionally exhausting as well, because avoidance is actually like you're pushing it. I don't have time for you. So we talked about that I think 2 episodes ago, when you're focusing on something and it keeps coming back into your mind, but you're not giving it the attention that it needs, it gets bigger. So avoidance actually makes the problem bigger, which can be mentally and emotionally exhausting. So, but you said you didn't feel like it applied. Why? What did you think of it when you first saw this? What is the judgment you made about being mentally and emotionally exhausted?
Because I don't feel that I'm so in the emotion so much. Like I used to be like emotionally like I'm in the mind state that like, okay, I'm thinking about it, I'm mourning it, and like now it's just like I'm just pushing it aside, which I guess it's still exhaustion, but like it's just avoiding.
Think of it as a spectrum. So being too emotional versus being non-emotional, because you know the repercussions from being too emotional, and you didn't like that. So you decided, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go to the other end and be like, okay, I don't care. But that can also be emotionally and mentally exhausting and not get you the results that you want. So you need to find a way to balance that. Okay? So we're gonna go to Coralie. What did you think? Because you saw the woman, but you also saw the skull. So do you feel like you're emotionally and mentally exhausted?
No.
No? Why? Okay, so...
But I mean, maybe the word consistently defending yourself, I don't feel like it applies to me.
Okay.
The emotionally and mentally exhausted, I would say it depends on situation. Example, like the COVID,
Yes.
things change, so it does make you mentally and emotionally exhausted because like things have changed, your routine changed, you have more pressure to perform at work, balance, everything. So that way, yes.
Yes. Which is normal. So she understands why she's mentally and emotionally exhausted, which is what you need to know. Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
But you don't feel like you're constantly defending yourself, right? No. That's what you said. Okay. Is there anything that you saw in there that you felt like was negative? Did you judge it negatively?
In what? In the image or?
Yeah. No, in the description of what it meant that you saw the woman. Cool.
I think the first part.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So the question is, if I felt like there's a place where it's judgmental.
Yes.
The first phrase when they say like, if you saw a woman, means that you feel as though that you're
Constantly
defending yourself.
I feel like this is judgmental because it's like it's a like by seeing an image, we can't just say that okay, somebody is just defending themselves all the time, you know. So
but so you would say that it's negative that someone's constantly defending themselves, right?
Yes.
Why?
Because I feel like they have to prove something. Is it as if they have to prove something all the time to someone, but they don't have to because you just be
you. Okay, I understand that, but is it so? Would you judge someone negatively if you felt like they always had to prove something? Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Why? Because what if they feel like, okay, see, this is why I want to talk about the negative and the positive, right? If someone is negative, constantly defending themselves, we might see that as being put off or be like, okay, you don't have anything to prove, just be yourself, right?
Yeah.
But what if this person, you don't know, okay, background, you don't know experience, you don't know how they were raised, you don't know why they feel like they're constantly defending themselves, and you don't know their goal, right? Because they might have a huge goal that where they need to prove everything they do, they have to prove themselves, right? But if we see that as negative, how does that help the person? Now I want to put it in the other person's.
Actually, seeing that way, it does not help the person because it's like we actually putting brakes into the person to express themselves, so it will stop them to actually express themselves. Sometimes those people shut down. Yes. And then when they shut down, people are like, "Oh, you look so shy."
Exactly.
They're socialized because they've been put like so people have been stopping them so much, so now they're not really fully themselves. So
exactly.
They stop expressing themselves because people will criticize them, or they'll say, "Oh, you defend yourself too much."
Exactly. So here, I don't want you guys to see it as someone that's constantly defending themselves. Yes, it might put you off because you know it's not something that you're used to, but that could actually be their genuine self.
Okay. But I think we all used to have somebody tell us that we always defending ourselves. So it's like we repeat what people tell us.
Yeah, I love that she said that.
That we have, and then sometimes we say things. Example, a parent they're gonna say things. It's a cultural thing. Like okay, the parent told them like this, then we're gonna say it like this, and then we repeat it like this. I have a son now, so I have 2 kids actually. So sometimes I scream like I scream like them. I tell them things that my mom used to tell me, and then I stop and I'm like, okay, sorry, Masai, sorry. I'm just, it's like, you don't want to be that person, but you repeat things that you have been repeating to you constantly.
And that goes back to your programming. So I told you guys between 0 and 7 is when you're kind of in hypnosis mode. So everything you see, you absorb it, right? And the way our parents talk to us, the way teachers talk to us, the way our environment talks to us, it means like we keep that because we know in this situation, this is how I have to act. So it becomes a norm. And judgment, they stem usually from when we're young as well. So we might judge someone that puts off that, you know, that kind of unbalances the situation because they look weird. You're like, okay, you're too much, you're defending, we're trying to have a normal, you know, sitting down, and then that's like all of a sudden Tisha's like, no, I don't like that because, and she starts defending herself. But maybe that's who she is because she has something more to prove. Okay, Tisha, so what did you think of this? Do you feel like it applies to you?
Actually, yes. You know, like, I feel like before I would be, like, more defensive about, like, being honest about saying, I'm not always defending myself, but, like, you know, sometimes you're just saying your opinion and people think you're, like, being too hardcore and, like, you're like, this is genuinely how I feel, and I'm just expressing myself, and, like, maybe I'm not expressing it properly, so it comes off as defensive, but that's not essentially my goal. And but I think lately also because school has been really intense, I have been feeling really like exhausted emotionally and mentally. I find myself tired a lot. I'm like not that motivated, and it's getting cold as well.
Exactly, I was gonna bring that up.
Adding to the pot, and like, you know, so surprisingly, I'm like, I actually do kind of feel like that applies. Like, and usually I would be like, no, I'm fine, everything's perfect. I'm not defensive and all that, but I'm like, I did see the woman, but then after I actually saw on your phone, like I saw the skull afterwards, but I didn't see it on the screen.
Okay, okay. So it can also be like during the image that you see it. So first off, I want to talk about how she said misunderstanding. It's not her goal to look like she's being, you know, she's defending herself. But sometimes it's not easy to actually express what we want in a situation. It could be with like a friend, a lover, our parents. Sometimes what we say is not exactly what we're feeling inside, but because we don't know how to express what we're feeling inside, it comes off as defensive. So being aware of what is my intention in this situation is actually going to help you express yourself a lot better, because maybe it's like, okay, I want to correct you on what you said because I don't feel like it's, you know, it's me. But it comes off as, yo, you're wrong. So then you end up looking like you're defending yourself, and then the person's like, whoa, okay, you see, it actually applies to you, which is not what you, it actually makes it, you know, you're moving backwards, and we want to be bursting with energy, so we want to be moving forward, right? So think of the intention behind your feelings, and then try to express that as best as you can.
I also, though, do feel like you can seem like when you seem more defensive, it's also because perhaps the person you're talking to is also getting defensive.
So the energy starts bouncing
acting,
off.
you know?
Yes.
They're like, oh,
It's like I'm on guard because I don't see that you're ready to reciprocate.
Exactly. And then in that situation, you can say that. I'm on guard because I don't feel like you're ready to receive what I'm saying. Healthy boundaries. You just told them, okay, I don't feel comfortable. You know, I'm on edge with you because I feel like you're on edge. Energy is reciprocal. So you want to create a circuit that actually benefits you, and that's not making more misunderstanding, and that makes more judgments, because when you come out of that, you're going to be like, okay, this character is defensive because you just put a judgment on them, right? Which can hinder your relationship. Nice. Good job, guys. Okay, so we're going to talk about the skull too.
I never saw the skull.
Yeah, I didn't actually either till here.
Like,
you see?
From the back,
I didn't either till here.
Yeah, but because now I see it backwards.
Yeah, I think it's because, so perception also, guys. So remember your perception. Okay. So I will be putting the video in the description box so you guys can check it out on your own. And then I'll show you the images here too. So if you saw a skull, you may be facing some significant challenges in your life at this time, and you are struggling to find a solution to effectively work through them. Okay? Do you feel like that applies?
It does.
Yeah? Okay. So is there anything that you felt was negative in this? Facing challenges in life and struggling to find a solution? No? Tisha? No? 'Cause you said so. Okay, so that's the skull. We're going to move on to our second image.
What happens if you saw both? That doesn't mean like you're like
a little bit
in
of
the same
both.
states
Exactly.
both.
A little bit of both.
And
Okay.
also probably that you just have good perception, like you can see the different
Yes,
shapes.
exactly.
You know, some
Yes.
people can see like
Both.
5 triangles and some people see 2.
So that's why I also wanted to, do you guys feel like these apply? So we're going to talk about that at the end, okay? Because this is something that a psychologist would take you to so that she can understand your inner workings, right? So we're going to see at the end, do you guys feel like these images truly resonate with what you're feeling inside and how you operate inside? And you know how through coaching I talk about layers. There may be layers. So something might not look like it's actually there, but when we go deeper and we reflect more, it's actually there on a little surface, but that actually shows up bigger because you're avoiding it. Interesting, right? The mind is a beautiful thing. No, so the second image is about to pop up, and I'm going to show it to you guys on this camera as well. Okay, so let's pause it. So what did you guys see?
I saw a woman heads from the back.
Okay.
I saw both, but I saw both once they gave me the option. Like I continued to look
So
at the
first
image.
you saw?
First I saw a woman, and then I saw the old man.
Okay, and then?
Both.
Both as well. Which
So
one
I
did you
saw
see
the
first?
woman
First. Okay, so we're going to start with the woman then. Is it good? There we go. So, oh, well, they have the old man first. Did you guys want to go over the old man real quick? You are an empathetic individual, if you saw the old man, showing compassion for all those
All that comes
into your life. You rely on the right side of your brain, so you know, right side, left side, as you are a highly creative person, always viewing the beauty and color of the world around you. Sorry, I'm just going to...
Don't lose that positivity.
Yes, don't lose that positivity. Thank you, guys. So that's if you saw the old man. Okay. Do you feel like that applies? I was put off by this one a little bit because I didn't see the old man. I was like, oh, you're seeing the old man makes you passionate, you know, empathetic, because I am an empath, but I was
Me
like,
too,
oh.
and I didn't see it.
I'm empathetic.
So I was a little bit judgy, but only because I didn't see the old man. I wasn't judgmental about like the description, but it's because I didn't see him. I was like, well, I want to see him. So do you, well, makes sense, guys? So we'll move on to the women since you guys saw more of the women. We'll probably actually do 4 images. Okay. And then pause. If you saw the woman, you are driven by the left analytical side of your brain. You see the world as black or white, often overlooking the full spectrum, right? Of gray that also, exists around you. They keep you from
Try to keep your mind
and heart open.
And see more than just the facts, welcoming the individuality of others into your life.
Well, okay, perfect.
Will make the world a better place.
Well, I can't get rid of the... Did you read all of it?
Yeah.
The bottom? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that. What do you guys think of that?
I should have seen the man, I guess.
That's judgmental.
Okay, why did you judge it negatively, though?
Because
so we'll do it in the same order.
I don't really feel like I'm that like black or white type of person. I see the gray zones and I accept people for who they are.
Okay. So you think not being able to see the gray zones is a negative thing, right?
Yeah. Because those type of people are usually very like square, like straightforward. It's either this or that, and I'm able to like, it may not be this or that.
Okay, I felt the same as well. I want to hear what you guys. So we'll start with Coralie and then.
Well, I felt the same as Providence because I feel like just judging by seeing one image, we cannot just put everybody in a box saying that it's black or white. It's like, for me, it's like when I see people, everyone is different. So it's not like people have, even if we say, this person is more empathic, doesn't mean that the same way that she's empathic, it will be the same way that
exactly.
So for me, it's judgmental because you put people in the box and just divide them. Okay, you see only black and white. No,
I love that they also pointed out how the quiz can come off as judgmental as well.
Yeah.
But we'll look more into that as we go on. But yes, I felt like that as well. Tisha, did you feel like
I'm pretty satisfied because I saw both. I feel like both slightly apply because there are moments when I am very analytical and I'm like, you look something, it depends on also the situation you're in, and sometimes I'm like, this is this, this is this, and there's not really an in-between, If you're looking at red and blue, like this color is red, this color is blue, and so it really depends on the situation that
so that's why,
in.
so it goes back to what Coralie said. I think it depends on the image that we saw here. So for this image, it did come off as black and white. This is what you saw, and I think that's what they say because the image probably was supposed to be like, look more like a woman. So because you saw the woman first, they're like, you're really analytical, left brain, right brain, right? Right brain, but left brain, right? Yeah. But the old man is because it's harder to see. So you have to use your creative, exactly. You have to use your creative self. So that's why they wrote it like that. But you see, when you understand more, it's a lot easier to understand how it comes off as judgmental, but is it really judgmental? Because with that image, that's what they were looking for, to see which one they use. So it depends on the situation. I agree with Tisha.
And I think also it's a bit of time because I'm sure that if you stared at it a bit longer, you would, your brain would activate.
Some people
and you
need time.
And that's analytical, but you're analytical in the sense that you become more empathetic because you're now seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly. So with your judgment, you also need to give people space to, really understand maybe what you're saying, what they're seeing, what they're going through, the situation that they're in. And when we put our judgments on them, it can block them from that growth. Okay, ready for the third image, guys?
Yes.
So this is image number 3. Okay, what did everybody see?
I actually saw both.
Me too.
Yeah, I saw both too. I saw both, but then
I didn't even see the arm.
I saw that like it was a snake made of arms. That's the first thing.
I saw both.
That's what it looked like for me as well. So you are a highly skilled and respected leader among your peers, taking responsibility, encouraging those around you, and expressing both appreciation and respect to those who Your team. Those who what?
Come join.
Can join your team.
Come join.
Come join. And then, okay, so you guys said you snake. You also...
I saw both.
Both? Okay, so we'll talk about the snake. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, highly skilled is a little bit too much, but
So now is she underestimating herself?
highly skilled, I mean, it's not really in my nature. It's not in my inner side.
Okay, I want to point out something. Are you not a teacher?
I'm becoming a teacher, yes.
Okay, and how do you work with...
I'm a leader, but I'm not highly skilled. I mean, there's always work in progress.
Yes, there's always work in progress. I agree with that. But does that take away...
my nature, like, I don't think I was a natural leader.
Leader? You had to work on it,
Yes.
which is probably what makes you even better at it, because it's something you had to work on, and it's something you know you can keep working on.
Yeah, true. True.
So don't, because it says highly skilled, don't think that highly is at one level.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So
Because what for you is probably a little bit, for somebody else that knows
Bigger,
nothing,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
like, no, you're
highly skilled and respected leader among your peers, taking responsibility. Yes.
encouraging those around you
Definitely.
and expressing both appreciation and respect.
Definitely.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you get to think about it? Did you feel like it applies? Is there
On some
anything that puts
levels.
you off?
Yeah, I mean, on some levels, I mean, like she said, you are highly skilled. It's like, whoa.
So there might be, a little bit of undervaluing, because I feel like everybody has their own talents. I feel like everybody has gone through their own experiences, and based on those experiences, they might be able to help another. And I know you guys weren't put off with the encouraging those around you. It's a skill encouraging those around you.
Yeah.
So some things that you guys might feel as nothing else put them off. It's just the highly skilled, right? So I want you guys to reflect on that. Tisha, was there anything that put you off here?
Yeah, it's actually based on what they both said about the highly skilled part. I can understand why you'd be like, no, because, I kind of thought like, oh, that's hard to say to myself. But when you were saying that, I was like, why would you undersell yourself? Because you're highly skilled.
You see, when you hear it from somebody else,
it's different. You're like, you're highly skilled. That doesn't mean like you're perfect. It just means like right now where you are, you're in a very good place. And you can always get better, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't say that I'm highly skilled.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean
Okay.
you won't be better tomorrow and the day after.
Exactly. And I want you guys to think of also the judgment of words.
Oh, that's okay.
That's the biggest thing, because I feel like a lot of us, we get the definition of things through how other people express it. We don't really go in the dictionary and be like, oh, this is exactly what it means. We see this is how people use it in a sentence. This is how people use it in action. And we make our meaning about it, right? Our own meaning. But if you actually go put it down, highly skilled, what does it mean? Where does that apply in my life? Then you might see, oh, it could even be I'm a good storyteller.
It's true. But yeah. And so listening to them, I was like, well, why would you not say you're highly skilled? But then like in my head, I was thinking about it, and a lot of times in class, people are like, you're so smart. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why would you think that about me? And so it's easy to see that in other people. But sometimes, we judge
Harder on
ourselves.
yourself.
Exactly. And I want to talk about the opposite side of it. What if you had said, I am highly skilled? Does that come off as, exactly. Does that come off as overconfident? Do you not want to come off as overconfident?
No, I feel like as long as I have the actual tool to back it up.
So, do you guys feel like being considered overly confident could make people judge you?
I think
so.
Yes?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's not like I feel like when you're confident about something, and then people around you, sometimes when you need help, people are always there when you need help. But when you're confident about something, and then you're traveling into, like, example, you create a foundation, you do a fundraiser, then some people, your closest people, don't support you when you're just thriving. So that's so I feel like sometimes it triggers people to remove themselves from circle when
I
you see that you're thriving. But when you're struggling, all the people around you, they feel like they need to help you.
Yeah.
But then you're thriving, you have a new card, then people just maybe
step to the side.
Like,
yes.
Okay.
And I think even especially with your environment, I think we should be confident together, right?
Yes.
But some people, when they feel like, okay, you're highly skilled, and they don't consider themselves highly skilled, it debalances the dynamic of your relationship.
It shouldn't.
and it shouldn't. So some people want to shrivel up because they want that sense of belonging. So that goes back to when we're young. We're social beings. So if we fear that we're going to be, we're going to be removed from a certain relationship, we're not going to be with a certain environment anymore.
Or you're not where the person is, so you feel like less than.
You shrivel yourself up and you consider, I'm skilled. I'm not highly skilled. I'm just skilled, I'm good at what I do. I'm alright. So you tu te rabaisse so that the environment stays the same, but you're actually not helping the energy and the dynamic of yourself, and you're not helping the energy and the dynamic of your group, because not only did you judge yourself, somebody judged you, you judged them, and then you guys ended up judging a whole circle, right? And we talked about last week how selves lead to nations, lead to how we communicate as a system, and we want that to be energetic. We don't want that to be, bringing us down into a nasty hole.
So what would you say that us as individuals should do amongst our group to actually create a better system?
Find something that you're highly skilled at. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm good at. That doesn't mean that I'm good at everything, but this is what I'm good at. I'm sure there's something that you're good at that I'm not good at, that you're good at that I'm not good at. You work with your what are you doing
kids.
specifically? You're working with kids, but I can't. I
can
don't
never
work
do
with
that.
kids right now. She can't work with kids. Tisha's in medicine. I'm not in medicine specifically. So there's different things that we can all learn from each other. And if we all learn from each other, we're upgrading our skills.
Yeah.
We're elevating our relationship, we're elevating our community, we're elevating each other, right? Which is what Bursting with Energy is all about, right? So I don't want her to downplay, I'm not highly skilled, Jess, because she might be amazing at what she does. I don't want you to downplay it either, or you, because when you actually get into your profession, there's people that are going to be looking at you, and they're expecting you to be highly skilled. Yeah. And if because of the relationships that you've had, you've downplayed yourself, they're not going to feel that confidence. Okay? So I'm not talking about overconfidence, because, overconfidence can be a bit too much. And we're not talking about underconfidence either. We're talking about that nice balance where you feel comfortable with what you're bringing to the table.
I also heard that somebody who's overconfidence is usually a lack of confidence.
Yes. Yes. So that's why showing one thing, actually, when we were talking about avoidance, it can come up. So you're avoiding the fact that you feel underconfident. So you sell it too much. See? So it becomes a bigger problem, because now you have to prove to that's what we would have to be proving yourself would be a negative in that case, because it's not that you're trying to achieve a goal, it's that you're avoiding something. So that's why you have to be analytical about where the judgment is coming from, where your goal is, what your intention is. Sound good?
Good.
All right, let's do 2 more images. We'll do 2 more images.
Wait, it didn't show when you see the hand.
Oh, the arm. Yes, sorry. You two had seen the arm, right? I saw the arm as well. Okay. You are a more analytical and critical individual, taking the time to fully assess the situation before you jump in. This may, what is that?
Slow you down.
However, you are the person who
can catch any holes in your plans or errors that have been made before they are too late.
Too late. Okay. So how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like it applies?
Yeah, because I guess what I was told is I'm an overthinker. But I guess this is what it means, right? It's you're more analytical, critical.
You wanna understand the situation completely before, but you don't want to be too much, because then you're never gonna make a jump in, right?
No, I'm the type of person I have option A. If option A doesn't work, this is what might happen. This can go wrong. This is where I can find the exit.
Yeah. But it doesn't stop you from jumping in, right?
Sometimes I'm I see too much that can go wrong, so I'd rather just leave it.
Okay. That's a good choice as well, because you're in this situation, I don't feel comfortable jumping in because I don't think it's going to benefit me, so I'm going to step back. And then when you do feel like it's going to benefit you, you jump into it.
But when they say, however, you are the person who can catch any holes in your plans or error that have been made before they are too late. That's true too. Yeah.
I agree with this one as well, because I can be very analytical, and it can slow you down, because sometimes like if you're like why, you ask too many whys, and so instead of progressing from the initial statement, you stay too focused on the why, like you're going too deep into one spot instead of like, oh, now I understand this concept, I can use it to build like forward. I'm just like, but why, but why, but why, but why, but why, but why, and then I spend like if I'm doing a lab report, I'll spend hours just looking up like one word and like the background.
I do that as well.
Like, in this
like I do that with words a lot.
You know, but then you can also read your overall body of work and be like, oh no, this is like wrong. Like you can catch the errors because your mind is a bit sharper because you're always looking for little details, but it's finding the balance of like not over picking. Like this is satisfactory and like it's analyzed enough, move on.
Exactly. Good. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 more images. At home, I'll have the description in the video in the description, so you can do it as well. And then we're gonna talk about the overall judgment in the end. Yep. So I'll show you guys here. So what did you guys see?
The men between the pillar.
You saw men? Men? All of you?
I saw both.
Okay, both. So we'll go over this one. Oh, there we go. Oh, does someone want to read it?
You prefer to live your life safely within your comfort zone and an area where you know that you can succeed. But is it really success if you're trapped beneath a low glass ceiling? The only way to break through and truly feel the joys and success and accomplishment in life will be to venture into the uncomfortable unknown and shoot for the stars.
Okay. Do you feel like that applies? Because you saw both, right?
Yeah, but I saw the men first.
Okay.
I caught the pillars after. I do sometimes I'm in the safe zone. I don't feel like it fully applies because a lot of the times I kind of just do wing it and go with the flow. I just see where it'll take me because I'm like, I can't limit myself too much because then I'm gonna live in a box and miss out opportunities. And so I'm like, I don't want to miss opportunities, but I still want to plan things. So I'm like, I'm gonna manage. So I'm gonna do this and this and this, even though I have a short amount of time. But I'm just gonna try to optimize each one.
Good. Do you guys have judgments about people that stay within their comfort zone all the time? No.
No.
Good. Yeah. Okay, a little bit.
You know, I think like not negative judgment, just like more, you know, don't stay too much in your comfort zone because you might not discover yourself completely and like, you know, the full extent of like your potential. Like it doesn't have to be huge outside of your comfort zone. It could just be like a little
step. Yeah.
You know? So
yes, I like that. That would
but
be a
actually, I
positive
understand why people actually do it.
It's usually when it's coming from fear, then it's not something that can really help your energy and help your progress, right? Because you're avoiding stuff. If it's something where you feel like, okay, this is my comfort zone, this is my expertise, this is where I actually can showcase myself best in my, you know, I don't know, maybe at home, maybe if you're a professional video gamer, maybe your at home is your style, then it makes sense, right? But if you're actually avoiding things and we're not seeing your full potential, then it hinders you.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying I know where it's coming from. Okay. And now the men between the pillars. And you guys can share in the comment section what you saw so that I get an idea of what you guys saw as well. You live a life of adventure and excitement, moving from one challenge to the next and feeding off the adrenaline. You dread the idea of settling into a boring routine life more than anything else, but you need
to acknowledge that there are benefits to finding some elements of routine and normalcy.
Do you guys feel like that?
Definitely doesn't apply. I mean, it applies in my mind. So many things, but I just don't do it. It doesn't apply. Like, I know. I mean, when I see this, it applies. I mean, that means that in my mind, the way I think, the way I want to do things. I have so many ideas. I want to do so many things. But no, I'm selling in the routine. Actually.
Okay. So I like that too because she sees it, it's in her mind, it's her intention, but it's not in her action. So for her, you would have to analyze, how can I make it an action? Is it something that I actually want to be following through? What's in my mind? Do I want to follow through with it? And how can I make it happen? Because you did see the men, right? So it's something that could be your true self.
I have so many ideas. Example, I'm like, you know what? Even though I'm in the field of teaching, but I do a lot of events, like I plan events, and people are always like, oh, you should do your own business, and I'll still do it for free. Like, I always do it for free. And people are like, when are you doing your business? While people are saying that, other people are opening business in the event planning field, you know. So, but in my mind, I'm just like, no, I'm just doing my passion, with
my passion.
My hobbies.
Yes, it's a hobby. It's something on the side.
I don't even charge people for that, you know. So in my mind, I could do that, and also I have like, okay, so there's so many things.
So maybe it's for you.
I have in mind, and people are just seeing like how good I am, and I know that I'm good in it, but I'm just like always saying, oh, I don't have time. I have the kids. I have school. I have this. So I just kind of.
Is it something that you want to do, or do you feel like having it on the side it's a good booster for you? It's something that you like in your life. It's like something you can look forward to. Oh, once in a while I do an event, and that makes me feel passionate, and it makes my normal life, my routine life, a little bit more exciting. Because it could be that as well.
It does, and sometimes I just feel like, I think the biggest thing that blocked me is actually time management. I have poor time management, so for me it's like I cannot have too many things
on your plate.
Be like
overwhelming,
giving me anxiety, and like I'm gonna be late all the time. And I don't like that.
Okay.
In 24 hours, I had like I heard a podcast of someone saying it was talking about time management, and I was like, okay, sometimes we take more time watching our phone, just go scrolling on Instagram, and like okay, it's been like 2 hours that I'm just like.
I think the average right now is 4 hours that people scroll.
I don't even feel like
half a shift.
Sometimes, oh my god.
Yes, half a shift, literally.
On Instagram.
Like, I don't know if it's a tick or something like we're just like people that. I don't know, like
it's because of the dopamine that releases when we're on social media, right? So we can sometimes get addicted to seeing things happening, and when we don't feel like something is happening in our life, or when we're avoiding something, when we don't want, because okay, when I have too much on my plate, I get overwhelmed. But she could actually use that to understand how can I place my schedule to actually get certain things done. Okay, it doesn't have to be to the scale that she thinks, because she's probably thinking, oh, I have to do this, and it's chaotic in her mind, and she's like, no, I don't want to do that. But when you do one step, you know how we talked about the comfort zone? One step, okay, I like to do maybe an event once every 3 months, and that makes me feel, because I have 3 months to plan it, that's more than ideal. I feel like, okay, I can put it into my schedule. So just using your own personality. We don't want to change anything about you. We want you to understand who you are without judgment, and then being able to, do your passion, do your hobby, do your adventures in that timeline.
But one thing is that I've learned also is like recently I was starting boxing. I don't know if you saw it, like I started doing box once a week. Okay, so I do box once a week.
Cool.
But I don't do sport at all. Like don't do sport at all. But the boxing helped me like have a discipline that I didn't have before. So sometimes I would go like at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. So I would drop the kids at the daycare and directly. Sometimes I don't even feel my body like. I don't like going there, but the feeling that I have after the boxing is like priceless. Like it's kind of hard. It's kind of sometimes like, oh no, I don't want to do stuff.
Now apply that to her ideas and everything that's in her mind, but that she's not doing because her body doesn't want to do it, right? So now understanding, how can I spark that? So doing something like boxing would actually make that one. It could be that one change that changes everything.
That's that one change that I've made.
It could be just that one thing. Stepping out of her comfort zone and doing boxing could change how she does time management. So you see how it goes back to that avoidance might come out as something else. That's why you need to look at the layers and the layers and the layers. Okay, so what do you guys have to say about this one?
I mean, it does apply to me to some extent, because when they say you live a life full of adventures and excitement, it's like I'm always somewhere doing something.
You see the images that they have of adventure and excitement, right? Instagram, the 4 hours. Exactly. The 4 hours that we spend on social media, we're like, oh, adventure and excitement is being in LA. But it might not be that. Sometimes I get super excited from just reading a book, and that's excitement in my life. I'm like, wow, power. Or I learned something new in astrology, and I'm like, mind blown. And that's excitement in my day.
But it is true though that I dread the idea of settling into a boring routine life, because like I always want to do something.
I'm not gonna lie.
I always want to do something. Like I even because I used to like read horoscope a lot, and like it says like a Sagittarius cannot be with somebody that just want to stay home because like we're gonna get bored, and that's
they'll go crazy.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. What about you, Tisha?
That's a little bit too real for me. I'm always on the move, and like when you said like excitement, like it made for a second it made me downplay like how excited my life was, because you were like, and LA, LA, and stuff like,
Exactly.
you know, I don't do that, but I do find myself always on the move, and like I do struggle a little bit to set a routine. So like sometimes I have a routine going, but like staying in it, I'm just like, how can I just commit my life to just doing this one thing all the time? Like tomorrow I want to do this, and today I want to do this. But I think it also comes like when you you have kids, so you have a responsibility that like you need to make sure things are done. So a routine makes more sense for like make sure they're there. Whereas
But that's why the hobby brings in the excitement in your life.
The routine is not exciting.
You know? So it's like some parts of my life do have like routines, like, you know, do your schoolwork, but like it's not a set routine because like, I get it done for when I need to, but it's not like every day I go at the same time. But like, so yeah, I'm a little bit more like free flow. Like I should probably be studying, but here I am.
So also understanding yourself through these questions, guys.
It's so crazy because now I really see that the word excitement just it pops things so different.
Yes, in everybody's mind. Yes.
Because for me, even doing the hobby is not really excitement. For me, excitement would be like going 1 year in I don't know in Africa. Like
I know what you mean.
And that adventure is like something really big. Like I'm not going. My head is like,
but actually seeing the finished product of the event, doesn't that make you excited?
Yes,
see? So that's excitement.
So much they're excited.
Exactly. And you get to benefit from the energy that the people that, you know, that are in the salle, that they get to, they're excited, they're like, yes.
Like
so
I find excitement in finding like a great new restaurant, and I'm like, yes.
Oh my God, that's good. Say that because yesterday I was in a restaurant. It's been a long time since I haven't been to a restaurant. The way that we were hitting the food, it was just Thai food, but it was just like, oh my God, it's so good. Like, but I eat all the time, but it's been so. It's been a while since I haven't been in a restaurant, so we were like eating everything as if it's like the
first time.
There are really little things in our life. There are really little things in our life that make us excited, and we need to appreciate those moments too. But look, even at scrolling gets people excited. Like, and it's just moving your finger against across the screen. So it's really anything that can get you excited, that can feel like going to the forest can feel like an adventure, right? Going to the beach can feel like an adventure, but it's something small that people do during the summer.
Because I feel like when we hear the word like adventure, we're thinking exactly like the forest. Like we're thinking.
No, I'm talking about the small forest as a park. Exactly. So yes, that's excitement and adventure, and we're gonna do one more, guys.
Okay.
And then we're gonna talk about personal judgments in our life, and then we're gonna end there. And this is the image.
Oh. Wait.
All right. I wanted you guys to see that one. Okay. If you saw a car, you highly value your freedom, both the freedom to get up and
at moments.
Yes, thank you. Providence, can you read it?
Oh. Go at moments notice, as well as the ability to do whatever comes naturally in life. You live for the opportunity to experience new things, consistently stepping out of your comfort zone.
Did anyone see the car?
I saw all three.
I saw both.
After the first is the men with
Okay.
I actually saw the car when they said that it was a car. I was like, oh yeah. This one.
Okay. What do you guys think of this? Do you feel like it applies? Is there anything that you see here that you would judge?
This applies. I like my freedom. I like to be able to choose what I can do with my day, who I can spend my time with, who I let into like my energy. You know, like who doesn't like their freedom? You know, what kind of life are you living? If you like, what does it mean? Like, you know, our freedom's a bit limited in the sense of we're run by a government. We have to follow certain rules. And
But
all
even
that,
think about like the car, the actual car. It takes you to places, but a car feels, you know, it's a box. But so I understand where it comes from.
Yeah.
And the Coralie, did you want to say anything?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Providence?
I mean, I do value my freedom, and like I like to like
Experience new things, adventures, excitement.
Yeah.
I can literally get up and just go.
But I don't
someone can call me and I'm
consistently
like,
step
I'm
out of my
coming.
comfort zone as much. I would say.
It's actually really hard to step out of your comfort zone. It's something that some people need to get used to.
Especially when you feel judged, you don't want to do it at all.
Exactly, especially when you feel
It's
judged.
like, how do you study psychology, but now you're like a dancer?
Oh my gosh, things went really wrong. And then the man with the binoculars. This is what you guys saw as well, right?
Yeah.
I saw him as well. You are generally focused on the bigger picture, forgetting about the finer details of any given situation. While this can help you to absorb information quickly, it can cause trouble for you in those moments
When the fingerprints, when the finer
The finer
points
prints,
matter.
the finer points matter.
which is more than you
which is more often that you care to admit.
Okay? Do you guys feel like that? I know this is what you guys all saw first, no?
Yeah.
First, and then first,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so do you guys feel like this? You're generally focused on the bigger picture.
No,
No?
because I usually tend to like
Focus on the details?
yeah.
Did you see the A?
No.
See? So then that's why they're gonna. So the A is actually the hardest thing to see in there. So that's why they put it for that image. Do you feel like, do you feel there's a judgment because they say you're more this?
Yeah, because I'm usually like I said, I'm always an overthinker. So I feel weird that I actually.
Was this one?
Yeah.
So yeah, the binocular. So she doesn't feel like it actually really applies, but we're gonna talk about that when we go to the A. Let's go to Coralie then.
Yes, I don't feel that it'll apply, and also, I don't know. I find it kind of hard to believe that only judging by an image we can know the perception or
Somebody.
like how some people think. So for
That's
me,
actually-
like I don't really think that. I don't really believe in those type of tests.
See,
you know?
some people actually, I was about to say that, they have trouble with psychology and going to see a psychologist because they feel like some of the techniques don't exactly apply and that you will actually get to know the real them. That's why talking about it like this, you can actually analyze yourself, so it's a little bit easier to understand. Okay, but you get why the binoculars mean that, right?
Because the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see cars and
Exactly.
everything and so on. Yeah.
I can understand where you're coming from, but there's also the aspect of like it's going based on how you perceive things. So if you were walking down the street, what you see like
First.
might not be what I see, and I think that's kind of what like it can be super specific. It's true. It's kind of vague.
So it's basically
But-
because you saw the binoculars
Yeah,
first,
and
you
it's the thing
see.
that's
So
standing
what
out.
stands out the most would be that, oh, I saw the bigger picture, and then maybe you go
Yeah.
into the finer details, right?
Yeah, you know, like if a car drove by, maybe I saw a car, but maybe you saw the
The
lady.
person inside the car
Yeah.
sitting
You saw a
down.
baby crying in the back of
exactly.
the
Yeah.
seat.
You saw the
Exactly.
sticker "baby on board"
Some
first.
people, they saw the car first and then they saw all of this, right? Some person
Yeah.
might go straight into the car.
Some people don't notice the car.
Exactly.
I don't know if you guys never experienced that, but example, you get a new car. The new car that you're gonna buy, then all of a sudden you always see that car.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like things happen. Example, I see you one time. Example, I see you one time. Maybe I saw you another time, but because I don't know you, I never really made a I saw
Yeah.
this little sister. Once you see something once,
Mhm.
then after
Then you see it
more
again.
often.
And that's where actually experience come from. So how we make judgments based on our experiences. So because you saw, now you have that car now. When I had my car, I was seeing Nissans everywhere. I was like, oh, that's my car. That's my car. Because from my experience, I have that car. So now I notice it.
Yeah.
So that's how judgments, like when you're younger, you notice something in your family, you notice something at school, and then you can kind of see that. So there's there's general statements that social media says, like, you know, you guys remember when they were saying men are trash, women are trash. Where does that come from? Experience. So now that now the people that you see around you, you notice their trashness, because that's what you experience. So now you're aware of that. But if you notice good qualities in someone, you'll notice, oh, you're empathetic, you see it everywhere, and that's how energy works. So that's why I wanted to bring judgments into energy, because we need to be aware of what we're seeing, we need to be aware of what we're analyzing, because that's what's going to be our experience.
Wow, so it's really deep that what she's saying, because we feel like we've been to school, we've been to high school, CJAB, we've been around people, and then I feel like the energy that we have around like our generation is really trash.
A lot of people feel that way.
Like positivity or embracing other people different, or just like vibing with people is now common. People just choose cliques.
Yes.
They choose like the environment, and they're all the same. If you don't like one person, then all the circle will talk bad of that person. Even if that person help you, you're still gonna have in mind, well, we don't like that person.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny.
You don't even have really a beef with that person.
Yeah.
Like,
The group is telling you.
You've been around people that don't really have that don't really like that person, so you don't have like
a real valid reason.
Even try like knowing that person.
Exactly.
Like, my friend don't like that person, so I'm not even gonna try to know that person.
And that's why your environment is actually really important, because they could prevent you from knowing somebody that's great. But I think it's funny that she said that, because I was thinking it's a little bit more, so you know the older generation, I felt they were more cliquey, in that our generation, they say that they're more open, they say that they're more, they're aware, they say that they're more, they understand people, that they understand the bigger picture, and that they actually want to change the world. But when we go on social media, that's not what always comes across, right? So it could be the perception of social media, but when we're actually with people, when we sit down with people, I feel like people are actually really open. People are actually more authentic when you're in person with them, right? But then there's also the thing of cliques, right? So when they're not in that environment, when maybe they're alone with other people, they say different things. So that's why your environment is important. So I feel like even if you're being open with me, you should bring that into another environment that might feel a little bit closed off, so that they can bloom a little bit.
Because don't you feel like, example, in the circle here we're gonna speak away, but example, your circle we're more intimate people, you're gonna be more vulnerable. Like you're not gonna see things that I'm not gonna see things here that I see with example my best friend.
Yes.
You're more vulnerable.
Yes.
So judging people when you're people with example with my sister, she's my twin, so we don't really have boundaries when we talk. So maybe we're gonna say things, but it's gonna stay between us because we have that special bond that like even if we
You're not judging each other.
Yeah, but even if we judge another person, we just because we're sisters, we're just be like, oh, we're just talking.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, I'm not gonna. There's things that we're not gonna see
to other
around
people. Yes.
Because we're like, okay, no, I'm not gonna see. So maybe I don't know.
I love that she said a few words. So she said vulnerability, and a lot of people are not comfortable with being vulnerable because they think they're gonna be getting judged, right? So we need to like stop that, because we are vulnerable. We were born naked, guys. We're vulnerable. Really, like anything can happen to us at any moment, and we might not see it coming, right? We end up in situations that are not ideal, and we feel vulnerable, but we have to learn through those. What can I change here? So that's why we don't want to come off as judgmental. But also, she also said that with her sister, she feels more open, more comfortable. I feel like we need to bring that more into other situations, other conversations, other relationships, because it's true. With Tisha, I could probably tell her everything, right? And then with other people, I'm like, you're going to think it's weird. But maybe she's actually more like my sister than I know, and that we would actually vibe off. Maybe you have a sister too, so we could have that dynamic too, but because you're not comfortable saying it to me, you might not say it to me. So it's really about not judging, and not thinking that the other person is going to think you're weird or off. And even if they do think you're weird or off, who cares? Exactly, because you're actually going to attract, because by being yourself, you're going to attract the people that are more like you, and you're actually going to discourage the people that are not like you. They're not going to come around you. So it's going to be easier to be your authentic self around your environment, because you know this environment actually knows me for me, and they're still here. But when you're playing another role, then you don't know if you can trust your environment.
True.
Because you're judging yourself. So you're judging your environment. Make sense, guys? Awesome. That was our one more. So the letter A. Yes.
The letter A.
Letter A.
This actually surprised me a little bit, just because I do think I look at the bigger picture, because I always think about my end goal. So I know what my ambition is, I know what I want to do, but I don't always think about every single step to get there. So then when you have to do all the tiny steps, that's when it seems hard, and then you forget like what you're working towards. You're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to wake up at 6 in the morning to do this. I don't want to make meals every single day. I'm going to order something today. I'm tired, you know, like the little steps that it takes, like putting in the work. And because I'm like, I know what I want to be. I know what I want to do.
Yes, I agree with that too. I know where I want to
go.
go.
And sometimes it's hard to continue to do those things to achieve like your goals.
Yes, so. I agree as well.
I
so
just deleted my Uber app.
I've had another friend that did that too. She's like, I took Uber too many times. It's December, Christmas is coming, so no Uber.
I actually subscribe to the Uber Pass because...
No judgment.
No judgments, guys. At home, no judgments. So we're going to look at the last one, letter A, and we're going to see what everyone thinks of that. Okay, so this one is the least common of the options. You are incredibly focused, picking up the smallest of details in everything that you do. Is that it? Highly intuitive. You can
you read a situation
better than nearly anyone, and you leave a way. You have a way of
effectively reading the people
around you. Yes.
Just have you the
I
A
like
first?
that.
No, I didn't. Right? I didn't see the A first. I saw it actually last.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw all three, but I saw the A last.
I would have told you.
So, what do you guys think of this one?
I was actually supposed to see the letter A.
Supposed to, but didn't. So.
Is that self-judgment? She assumes that she'd see things and she sees different things.
Exactly. So now imagine how that plays. Imagine how that plays in real life, where you feel like you see a detail, and then maybe you didn't actually see the detail, and then it can cause a misunderstanding. So that's where I want you guys to look at each one and put it into your real life and the energy that you bring into different situations, right? So you might be good at seeing details, but you might miss something sometimes because you missed it here. So now if you do miss it, you can't be mad at yourself because you know I'm not perfect at always seeing the finer details. She's like, I don't like that, but it'll help you, right? Because when you actually make a mistake, you'll be like, oh, okay, because you know you're going to check it again. You said you check things 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So you're going to understand that you missed a detail or saw a detail. Just give yourself this time and space.
Gotta learn how to be kind to myself.
Exactly. Gentle, patient, patience. Anybody else wanted to say something?
I like that. It made me feel good about seeing the A.
You're becoming a doctor, right?
Yes.
I think that's the perfect.
So
It'll
you know.
definitely
Help.
apply for her. Yeah.
Yes.
It took like a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think the more we watched them, the more our minds like opened up to search.
Exactly.
So I was more like, okay, there's not just one thing. Like, what else do I see? What else can I like find? And no, I'm like, it's not 100% accurate, you know. But I'm like, oh, it kind of makes me feel like, oh, I'm going in the right direction because it took me a second, but I noticed it. So like,
You see,
I can be
it
these
says
things.
You're incredibly focused.
Yes.
So that's the
So
thing. 'Cause me, I saw the first image and then I was like, okay.
Yeah. Already looking more. Exactly. So even being aware of that.
Yeah.
And that makes you focus more because now you're like, oh.
Exactly. Now you can bring it into real life. How can I focus more? Oh, I saw this. Is there more to it?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure if we saw it first, it would have been a little bit harder to pick them up because we would have just been expecting to look for like, what do you see?
This.
I see binoculars.
Exactly.
You know, but now you're like, I'm supposed to. You're aware.
Yeah.
And when you become aware, your mind opens up.
Exactly. When you become aware, your mind opens up, and we want to use that for judgments so that our mind opens up to receive other people and their lifestyle, their experiences, their upbringing. So last question, guys. So those were 5. We did 5 out of 8. If you guys want to watch the rest of the video, the link will be in the description box. Okay. So are there judgments from when you were young that you saw your parents, things that you brought meaning to that you feel still apply today? Is there a judgment that you have imposed on yourself that you feel hindered? We'll talk about hinders you.
I think to strive for like perfection a little
Yes,
bit.
that's me too. You're not enough.
You need to do more. So like, you got 80. Where's the other 20%? Like, just, you know, you can say good job because it's like, oh, I understand. And it's like, then at that point it makes you feel more like you're supposed to like memorize and just like spit out what you like, oh, I saw that, that's why, and not understand the actual concept. And like it's just supposed to like test your understanding in life, and then you're going to be able to do things better. But when you feel the pressure of like having to be perfect, like you're not allowing yourself to like let those things sink in, and you're just like, oh, I saw your hair is red and black today. Her hair is red and black. Her hair is red and black. Her hair is red and black. Instead of just looking, and then you ask me, I would know the answer. But because I put that pressure like,
on yourself, statistically, it actually when you put pressure on the person, it makes them want to do less. It doesn't actually encourage them to do more. And if it does encourage them to do more, it's for fear of what the consequences. Exactly, the disappointment, the consequences, the negative consequences. But sinon, most people feel demotivated when you don't acknowledge and validate their effort. So, you too. Is there anything else?
I think me, it's actually the opposite, because I grew up in a family that was like not so like emotionally available, which made me become more emotionally available as I grew up. Because I was like, I didn't have that, so I don't want to become that.
I get that.
That's a good point.
And you?
Nothing for now. No, I don't know.
No? Any judgments from when you were young that you feel like right now, I have to work on it so it kind of like slows down my progress? Because now she has to learn how to be, balanced with her emotions. She has to learn how to be more accepting of the effort that she puts in. Yes.
There's definitely something. I think in childhood, I built. Let's see. What are my parents saying that came
In your head.
It takes a second to think about it.
I know there's a lot of things, because there's things that even as with my sister we talk about, in her childhood like maybe her mom was so strict, but now, for example, she a little bit like Potan said, she was not that much loving with us. So us growing up, we were really hard on people.
Yes, okay.
We're not really
emotions.
It's like c'est le contraire,
but you actually followed that example.
Exactly,
I get that.
We're really hard on people. We're really hard in our relationship with men. We're really also like not like we don't physical touch or even like in the way that we speak.
And it can, for them, it could be, a strong woman looks like she's in control of her emotions. So that could be more of what she learned from that, the meaning that she developed from that. So then, based on all these, you guys have 3. Now you can analyze that, change them around, do what you want with it, and make it more authentically you.
Okay?
I also think our parents teach us judgment.
Yep.
Because
they do.
Parents, faut pas être comme la tontine là-bas.
But the thing with that is that you actually don't know the whole story.
Exactly.
So you're actually judging the whole story. You're judging based on a small story.
So you just go to your cousins and you're like, oh, you know what the tontine did?
Or comparisons. Oh my God.
Comparisons.
Tu sais, la fille de telle là, elle est docteur. Toi là, tu es docteur.
Yes. That actually, as we said, demotivates
But
you.
is it like a cultural thing?
It is.
I think so.
Like,
It is.
For me, I feel like example, my friends that are not like African, they just
It's
everybody in a
different.
box. They're really different. They don't talk about like.
I would say
example,
even not just Africans, but immigrants.
immigrants. Yeah, I put the African
Because I feel like a lot of
environment that you
a
know.
lot of immigrants, because Africans are like that, but because we're Africans too, that's where we're in. But a lot of immigrants are actually like that.
They're more like judgmental. I don't know. Sometimes we say that our people that are not immigrant are more free. That they're not scared to do things. They will try things. Us sometimes in our community or immigrant people, they scared to do things because people in their community gonna say, well, why are you doing this?
That's true.
Like, have she gone in school? Like, what is she doing in podcast? Like,
That's true.
what is she doing? Like, even planner? Did she went to school for
that?
But let's believe in people that having
passion.
Passion. But you see, I agree with
Can I just do it because I love it?
Say people haven't even studied in the field that they are in.
Yeah,
and just by doing nails.
They're more self-learning. Yes. So I want to end on what is the positive intention on that, because did you see the face she did when she's like, that's the face I do too. Why do you have to judge me like that? I'm sure those are faces that you do as well, right? And that's because of their judgment, we're like, what the hell, right? So what is the positive intention behind them making judgments? What's the positive?
I guess they want us to succeed.
Yes.
They want to protect us.
Yes. So they want you to succeed. They want you to be protected. They want you to be safe. They want you to, develop all the skills that you have. So all you got to do is show them that you're protected, show them that you're successful, show them, and that could be in any field. So you just have to be grounded in the fact that this is what I want to do, this is the boundary that I'm setting, and I'm going to show them that I can succeed even if it's not exactly in the field that they intended. Because the positive is that they actually just want you to be safe. They just want you to have a good life. So if they can see that, and if you can provide that for yourself, then you guys kind of both succeeded.
Okay.
So positive intention, no judgment of the judgment.
But trying things and failing is like failing is not always a bad thing.
No, failing is actually a good thing. It's something.
But stop you try again.
Exactly.
But you know they're gonna say it, right? You know they're gonna say it. So you have to mentally prepare. It doesn't mean it's not gonna te donner un coup, but you know they're gonna tell you je t'avais dit quoi. But you actually tried something that they may not have tried. So they just assumed that it wasn't gonna work. But now you have proof this didn't work. So now I can try something else because I know this didn't work. So it's about being firm in your boundaries.
When I told my mom I was going to be a psychologist, she was like, why? Do we have that in Africa?
Wow. Say, and you could have told her, no, that's why I'm bringing it there.
Exactly.
Thank you guys for your answers. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being open. I hope that helped you at home. This was Judgements. Bring it into your life and burst with energy. If you guys want to sponsor or donate, it will be in the description box. And thank you to Indigen Productions for making this all happen. Bye, guys. Next episode in 2 weeks.
Tune in or tune out.